Have you ever thought you knew someone perfectly? I did. My name is Sarah. I am 32 years old and I have, or I thought I had, a perfect marriage. My husband Mark was the kindest man in the world. He worked hard. He traveled to another city every week for business. He told me, "I am doing this for us, Sarah, for our future." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He called me every night. He brought me gifts. He was my best friend. But secrets are like ghosts. They haunt you when you least expect it. Last Tuesday, Mark came home tired. He left his suitcase in the hallway and went to sleep. I wanted to help him. I wanted to unpack his bag, wash his clothes, and make him comfortable. I opened the suitcase. Inside, beneath his shirts and suits, my hand touched something hard and cold. I pulled it out. It was a small blue toy car, a racing car for our little boy. I stood there in the quiet hallway. My heart beat fast. We don't have children. We have been trying, but we don't have a son. Who is this toy for? Was it a gift for a nephew? A friend's child? Or was it something else? That small toy was the key to a door I never wanted to open. And what I found behind that door changed my life forever. Let me tell you about our life before the toy car. It was beautiful. It was simple, or so I thought. Mark and I were married for 10 years. 10 wonderful years. We met at university. He was studying engineering and I was studying literature. He was tall, handsome, and very smart. But most importantly, he was reliable. He was a man of his word. Our routine was always the same. Mark was a successful engineer. His company had a big project in a city called Westwood. Westwood was 3 hours away by train. Every Monday morning, Mark kissed me goodbye. He always said the same thing. "I love you, Sarah. I will miss you." I always replied, "I love you too, Mark. Be safe." From Monday to Friday, I was alone in our house. But I did not feel lonely. I felt proud. My husband was working hard for our family. We wanted to buy a bigger house. We wanted to have children. We were saving money for our dreams. Every night at 8 p.m., my phone rang. It was Mark. We talked for 1 hour. He told me about his meetings. He told me about the hotel food. He complained about his boss. It felt so real. His voice was calm and loving. I never suspected anything. Why would I? Trust is the foundation of marriage, and I trusted him completely. Every Friday evening, he returned home. This was the best moment of my week. I cooked his favorite dinner. Usually it was roast chicken with potatoes. He always brought me flowers, sometimes red roses, sometimes white lilies. He would hug me tight. He smelled like train stations and coffee. He looked tired but happy to see me. "I am home, Sarah," he would say. "Welcome home," I would whisper. We were the perfect couple. Our friends envied us. My mother always said, "You are so lucky, Sarah. Mark is a golden man." I was living in a fairy tale. But I forgot one thing about fairy tales. Sometimes they have monsters in them. Let's go back to that Tuesday night, the night of the blue toy car. I held the car in my hand. It was small, made of metal, and painted bright blue. It was not a cheap toy. It looked used. There were small scratches on the paint. A child played with this car. A child loved this car. Why was it in my husband's suitcase? The next morning, Mark woke up. He came into the kitchen. I was drinking coffee. The toy car was on the table. I watched his face carefully. "Good morning, honey," he said cheerfully. Then he saw the car. For 1 second, just one short second, his face changed. His eyes went wide. He looked frightened. But then the mask returned. Mark was a professional. "Oh," he laughed. "You found it." "Yes," I said. My voice was shaking. "What is this, Mark?" He poured himself some coffee. He was very calm. "I bought it for my boss's son. It was his birthday last week. I forgot to give it to him. It must have fallen to the bottom of my bag." It was a good lie. It was a logical lie. "Oh," I said. "I see. Why? What did you think?" he asked, smiling. "Did you think I was playing with toy cars in the hotel room?" He made a joke. He laughed. I tried to laugh too, but deep inside, my stomach, I felt a heavy stone. Something was wrong. My intuition, that small voice inside a woman's heart, was whispering to me, "He is lying." 2 weeks passed. I tried to forget the car, but the doubt was like a seed. It grew every day. Then the second sign appeared. Mark was back in Westwood for work. It was Wednesday. He called me at 8 p.m. as usual. "I am exhausted," he said. "I was in meetings all day. I am going to sleep early now. Sleep well." The next week when he came home, I was doing the laundry. I checked the pockets of his jacket. I found a piece of paper. It was a receipt from a supermarket in Westwood. I looked at the date. It was Wednesday. The time was 8:30 p.m. But, wait, Mark told me he was sleeping at 8 o'clock p.m. I looked at the items on the list. 1. Bottle of wine. 2. Box of chocolates. 3. Woman's perfume brand, Midnight Rose. 4. Children's birthday cake. My hands started to tremble. Mark didn't drink wine. I didn't like chocolates. And I certainly didn't wear Midnight Rose perfume. And a birthday cake? Mark didn't lie about a toy car. He lied about his life. The stone in my stomach became a fire. I couldn't ask him again. He would lie again. I needed to see the truth with my own eyes. The following Monday, Mark left for Westwood. He kissed me goodbye. "See you on Friday," he said. "See you," I replied. I felt sick. As soon as he left, I went to the train station. I bought a ticket to Westwood. I was not a wife anymore. I was a detective. I was a hunter. The train ride took 3 hours. It was the longest 3 hours of my life. I looked out the window, but I saw nothing. I only saw the receipt in my mind. Wine, perfume, cake. I arrived in Westwood at noon. I knew the address of his company. I went there and waited across the street in a cafe. I waited for 4 hours. At 5 p.m., Mark walked out of the office building. My heart jumped. He looked normal. He was wearing his blue suit, but he didn't go to a hotel. He walked to a bus stop. I followed him. I kept my distance. I pulled my scarf over my face. I felt like a criminal. He got on a bus. I took a taxi and told the driver, "Follow that bus." It felt like a movie, but it was a nightmare. The bus traveled to the suburbs. It was a nice neighborhood. Family houses, parks, schools. Mark got off the bus. He walked towards a small white house with a garden. He didn't knock on the door. He took a key from his pocket. He had a key. He opened the door and walked in. I stood on the street. I couldn't breathe. My legs felt weak. I waited. 10 minutes later, the door opened again. Mark came out, but he was not wearing his suit anymore. He was wearing casual clothes, jeans and a t-shirt. He looked relaxed. He was not alone. A woman walked out with him. She was beautiful. She had long, dark hair. She was laughing. She held his hand. Then a little boy ran out of the house. He was about 5 or 6 years old. He had Mark's eyes. He had Mark's smile. The boy ran to Mark and jumped into his arms. "Daddy! Daddy!" the boy shouted. Mark lifted him up and kissed his cheek. "Hey, champion!" Mark said. Then I saw it. In the little boy's hand, there was a toy. It was a small blue racing car, the same car I found in the suitcase. The woman kissed Mark on the lips. It was not a friendly kiss. It was a wife's kiss. They started walking towards the park. They looked like a happy family, a perfect family. I stood behind the tree, alone in the cold wind. My world didn't just crack, it shattered into a million pieces. Mark didn't just have an affair, he had a life. He had a wife. He had a son. I was not his only family. I was just the other one. I didn't scream. I didn't run to them. I couldn't move. I was frozen with shock. I watched them play in the park for 10 minutes. The boy pushed the blue car on the grass. Mark kicked a ball. The woman took photos. They were happy, and their happiness was built on my pain. Their happiness was a lie to me. I turned around and walked away. I took the train back home. I don't remember the journey. I cried silently the whole way. People looked at me, but I didn't care. I arrived home. Our house felt empty. It felt cold. It was not a home anymore. It was just a building where a liar slept. I waited for Friday. Those 3 days were torture. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I just sat in the living room looking at our wedding photos on the wall. They looked like photos of strangers. Friday evening came. The door opened. "Sarah, I'm home," Mark shouted cheerfully. He walked into the living room with a bouquet of lilies. He saw me. I was sitting on the sofa. I was not cooking. I was not smiling. The house was dark. Mark stopped. He lowered the flowers. "Sarah, what's wrong? Why is it so dark?" I looked him in the eyes. "I went to Westwood on Monday," I said. My voice was very quiet. Mark dropped the flowers. The vase didn't break, but the silence was loud. His face went pale. All the color left his skin. "Sarah," he started. "I saw the house," I said. "I saw the woman. I saw the blue car." Mark. He fell onto his knees. He started to cry. It was pathetic. "Sarah, please, let me explain." "Explain what? That you have a son? That you have been lying for 6 years? That boy is at least 6 years old, Mark." "I didn't want to hurt you," he sobbed. "I met her before I met you. But we broke up. Then I met you. I loved you. But she came back. She was pregnant. I couldn't leave my son. I tried to tell you, but I was scared. So you married me," I said coldly. "And you kept them. I love you, Sarah," he said. "I love both of you. I have 2 lives, but my love is real." "Love?" I laughed. It was a bitter, angry laugh. "This is not love, Mark. This is selfishness. You wanted everything. You wanted the wife at home and the family in Westwood. You stole my life. You stole my trust. You made me a fool." He tried to touch my hand. "We can fix this, please." I pulled my hand away. I looked at this man. I didn't know him. He was a stranger. That night, I told him to leave. "Go to them," I said. "Go to your real family." Mark packed a bag. He was crying, but he left. When the door closed, I collapsed. I lay on the floor and screamed. The pain was physical. It felt like someone had cut my chest open. The next few weeks were a blur. I was in a deep depression. I didn't go to work. I didn't shower. I felt dirty. I felt stupid. How did I not know? How was I so blind? I told my family. My mother was furious. My father wanted to hit Mark. I told our friends. They were shocked. "Mark?" they said. "But he is such a nice guy." Nobody believed it at first. Some people said terrible things. Mark's mother called me. "Men make mistakes," she said. "He has a son. You cannot separate a father from his son. You should forgive him." "You don't have children, Sarah. Maybe this is better." Those words hurt more than the betrayal. I felt worthless. I felt like I wasn't enough. I realized something painful. While we were trying to have a baby, while I was visiting doctors and crying because I wasn't pregnant, Mark already had a child. He didn't share my pain. He was acting. He was living a double life. In Westwood, he was daddy. In our city, he was the devoted husband. He split his time. He split his heart. But you cannot split a heart. When you divide it, it dies. I felt like I was drowning in an ocean of lies. Every memory I had was tainted. Our anniversaries? He probably texted the other woman from the bathroom. His business trips? They were family holidays with them. My whole life for the last 10 years was a fake movie script written by him. I was alone. I was 32, divorced, and broken. Time is a strange medicine. It tastes bitter, but it heals you slowly. 3 months later, Mark came back. He knocked on my door. He looked terrible. He was thin. He looked sad. "Sarah," he said, "I made a mistake. I left her. I want to be with you. You are my home. You are my peace. That life, it is too chaotic. I want us back." I remembered the love I used to feel. I remembered his warm hugs. It would be so easy to say yes. It would be easy to have my husband back, to stop being lonely, to pretend nothing happened. But then I remembered the blue car. I remembered the lie. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing, but forgiveness requires truth. And Mark was made of lies. If I took him back, I would always wonder, where is he going? Who is he texting? Is there a third family? "I cannot," I said. My voice was strong. "But I love you," he insisted. "No, Mark," I replied. "You love yourself. You want me because I make you feel comfortable. But I am not a hotel. I am not a safety net. Please," he begged. "Affording is accepting," I told him. "If I forgive you, I accept the lie, and I deserve the truth." I closed the door. I locked it. When I turned around, the house was quiet. But this time, it was not a lonely quiet. It was a peaceful quiet. I realized something important. I lost a husband. Yes, that was painful. But I found something else. I found my self-respect. I was not Mark's wife anymore. I was Sarah. I started to paint again, a hobby I stopped when I got married. I traveled. I made new friends. The scar on my heart is still there. Sometimes, late at night, it hurts. But I know the truth now. It is better to be alone and walk in the light than to be married and live in the shadow of a lie. I walked to the park near my house. I sat on a bench and watched the sunset. The sky was painting itself in orange and purple. I took a deep breath. The air was fresh. I am Sarah. I am alone. And for the first time in a long time, I am free.